from another student is Mary Shanklin, who wants to hear from all of you about sharing some examples of magazine apps that work and that don't work. So Ani, can you think of something offhand? It doesn't have to be in your field. I mean, just, you're clearly a consumer, I would assume.
Yes, yes. So I do subscribe to The Atlantic. I do have my Atlantic app here. So I would say that's one that does clearly work really well. One that doesn't work. That one's a bit harder because I probably would have deleted it immediately after.
Well, I think that any app that the ACS has developed for mobile usage has gone through any number of
Yeah, I would say
improvements,
our apps are
yeah.
good. I can think of a big one actually. Now that I think about it, I think the one that I even forgot the name. The one that Google came out with for their books version. I forget. It's on here. I have it here, but yeah, Playbooks. I think that's a complete failure. The reason it's a huge, it's bloatware basically. You load it. It's nothing like the Kindle app or anything. The pages don't load. They take forever. It's just, yeah, it's awful. But I'd say that one's a failure. Yeah.
And Nicole?
I like Inc. magazine, and that would be one of them. I love the Wall Street. Wall Street Journal is okay, but I like New York Times app. I think it's really great. I'd say an awful one is what we do. We're replica apps, and I want to go to responsive design. I want to try all kinds of things, and we were also late adopters of digital because I just didn't believe it was time. I was waiting for the apps. I just thought a page-turning thing on a computer screen was ridiculous. But now that they have it resizing for different things, I was given an ultimatum by my boss in 2008 at the end of it. It's like, stop printing magazines. And I'm like, you stop printing magazines, nobody's going to be here. I mean, you're going to lose everything. I mean, there's no way you can stop printing even with the ad drops. So anyway, so I cut and burned and slashed and killed everything. We dropped the magazine, and we absolutely accelerated on our emails. And I went with Texterity, and we started digital editions for that reason alone. I mean, and it was because then I could take a lot of the circulation and push it over. I mean, frankly, we were hanging on the cliff. And but the big print bill, what you say, and my staff, the two biggest costs we have. That's how we survived. And it was tough going. But that's, again, production had a huge role in that. I said, how's the fastest and the best way we can do this? And creating these PDFs, we decided we're just going to get one PDF. We were already just to plate on the print side. We're just going to try to do this and get it up there and send it out to everybody we can. And we went from no email addresses except for a few members. I mean, really, we hadn't developed it that much. That's probably not true. We had e-newsletters. And then, today I even dumped, I don't know if you guys, do you know BPA, do you know circulation side of things? Okay, well, I decided to stop using BPA, and that was like unheard of. And I created my own circulation format because I needed to save the money on the telemarketing. That was $80,000 a year for us. And that was, and I developed my own website. I have a whole system there that I just would love to smack in BPA's face, and tell them. But that was all with my production team. I said we've just got to go from all these things that we've been doing in a traditional print format, and we've got to completely creative destruction, I think you used the term, change the whole dynamic. And we have not lost a single advertiser from going to what I called it Operation Pink Panther. That's a whole other story, but I'm really proud of it, and I can't really talk about it too much because I don't want to get on the BPA's hit list or ABC for that.
This is being recorded, so you never know.
No, I don't care. It's going on YouTube. Yeah, so, all those things, and that all had to do with the digital, our digital strategy, and it was really just sink or swim. We were thrown in the deep end. I mean, can you imagine your boss telling you no more printing of magazines? That was my job, it was my whole team job, it was everybody's job. So.
Either one of you?
Just quickly, this is obvious, I guess. The best digital magazines, I think, are those that take advantage of and use the tools that you can use in a digital format. We're small, so we have some limitations. We have digital enhanced, we have some video, we have some slideshows, we have some advertisers using video, and we're going to do more. And the bigger magazines have more opportunity, more resources to do it. And then some fields, some areas are even better inclined. I mean, think of Entertainment Weekly. I mean, how great is that when you're reading Entertainment Weekly and there's this, something about this movie and you can just click and watch the trailer of the movie, or there's something about Brad Pitt and you can just click and watch this interview with Brad Pitt or whatever it is. So there are some magazines that are just natural for this, cooking magazines, travel magazines, and I think those are the ones that are doing the best job.
I'm pretty critical of ours, having helped build it, and I think I appreciate the sentiment. I think ours could be better, no question about it. We haven't spent a lot of money on it, and we don't have the in-house expertise, and that's been the challenge for all magazines. Is, you know, do you go with a replica, which is simple PDF, and which doesn't have the bells and whistles you want, or do you relay it out 3 times, which costs money, or have someone do it? So we struggled. I think my favorite one, honestly, is the simplest one, which is The Economist. You know, if we redesign ours, I think I would take a more of an economist-like approach, which is effectively a very easy navigation, and it quickly loads. And you know, the New Yorker, which once you get it downloaded, isn't so bad, but I might have to wait 20 minutes, and I don't have that kind of time.
It's 108 pages, and it takes forever, and very few graphics.
Yeah, so that's been frustrating, but.
So are you using mobile apps, and if so, what is the revenue from what you're generating? Is it worth what you have to put into produce?
I'll tell you what we're doing. We're trying a lot of things right now just to get a sense, including responsive design, HTML5. The Atlantic app is a paid app. Well, it's a free download, and if you want the magazine content, you pay. We are getting a significant amount of people there. Probably 20,000 people have subscribed through that, and we really haven't spent any money on marketing, so it's just the Apple Store, the brand recognition that we have, our own sites. Then we have another 50 or 60,000 who get the print, who have validated, they get it for free. So we're making money there. What we're seeing on the consumer side is an increased appetite from advertisers to advertise on the apps. I think there was a report out today that said first half consumer print advertising was down 5%, but iPad advertising maybe was up 27%. I think I saw that headline. So it's off a small base, but there's money flowing there and into other things like Flipboard. We make a lot of money on Flipboard right now, putting our digital content up there. So yes, we launched this weekly app 3 weeks ago, which is basically free content, right? It's already been published on our website. We're just selecting the 10 best pieces, because we produce about 80 pieces a day right now across the Atlantic.com and a few others, and no one can keep up with that, and frankly, you don't want to read every piece anyway. So our editors are actually selecting 10 best pieces. We're cleaning up a little bit more and then charging people $20 a year for that. And we've got a couple thousand already in the first few weeks, so that's not bad. You can quickly scale to profitability like that. So.
We're about to change direction from digital, so any digital questions before?
Before I went to class, I was involved in a very huge debate about doing an app. Luckily, my boss and I like each other, so it's been a very unpleasant hour. But how do you guys feel about sponsoring apps? So the debate we're engaged in is, do we do just a digital edition in the newsstand, or do we have, because we have a design team that can do it as part of our company, or do we have to design an app for us? And my boss is like, I just slap an ad on it. And I don't like to slap an ad
Ani's answer about customers, like, I don't know what realm you're in, are you business to business?
Yeah, it's more like a real membership association.
Mhm. You know, I don't have any problem if it's tastefully done to get a sponsorship on it. I mean, I think that lends legitimacy. You'll probably, I mean, I'm coming from the publisher side of it though, so I would definitely like to get some more money for it. We're still in the replica edition phase, but in order to monetize it, or to, pay for it, never mind monetizing it, I'm gonna have to get some sponsorship ads. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. It's just, the same principles of church and state, I think, still apply. Whatever platform, whatever medium you're in, can be done right.
So we have very little advertising revenue in our business model. What we, as I mentioned, is mostly large institutional subscribers. So we have a mobile app. You can download it. It's free. When you get to the content, if you're under your library authentication or in that network, you can access that content. How we don't charge you for that. How we charge it for that content is we have a usage-based pricing model. So next year, when the subscription times come up, we actually go to the libraries and say, our content was downloaded this many times and you fall under this tier. So we want you to access the content however you can, from the mobile app, through our social media networks, and through as many channels as you can, because that increases our usage and that increases our revenue. So our model is somewhat different, and we don't generally rely on ads. So.
I just think digital presents all these new ways, these new revenue streams that we just have to figure out. And again, maintaining strictly the same church and state. Although there are a lot of new challenges to that, that some of these technologies and platforms allow, because you can integrate things so much more. And we're just starting. We're not going to make any money just by selling enhancements to ads in a digital edition. It's going to be other things. So I just think you have to have a spirit of experimentation and trying new reasonable things.
I think for us, because we've got a bunch of paid and free products out there, first of all, I want to do both on everything if we can. But I think if the content's not unique or distinctive and useful, no one's going to pay for it. Again, if your membership feels like they have to have it and they don't get it another way, or you packaging it in such a unique way, you can probably charge. I think the Atlantic Weekly it adds value to your limited bandwidth to consume the best. If you like the Atlantic brand, we'll give you the 10 best pieces. You don't have to worry about searching, hunting, and packing through our website. And it's better designed. It's been copy edited a couple more times than the web stuff, which is loosely copy edited at best. And we'll add some new features from the archive going back 100 years or whatever, some fun things which will keep growing. So we're seeing a loyalist group that will pay for that convenience. They get it Friday at 2 o'clock, and it's nice for the weekend. It's going to be hard for me, for example, to charge ever for the Atlantic Wire, which is a service where I've got 15 writers reading everything on the web and everything on Twitter and weaving a contextual narrative about the news stories. I just don't know that people will pay for that. They might. It's a utility in some ways, but there I'm going to look